Enemies of your own household, spirits of vengeance. Now I'm doing this video really quick because the 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 Azaria the Azario family, if I'm not mistaken, Azaretto family, the bloodline is just wow. You know, from the father to both the sons, and there has been, as you can see in the title, Dark Family History of NYC Husband Suspected of Stabbing TV Set Designer Wife and Unalive Suicide Revealed. Murder Suicide Revealed. I don't care about that no more. We're here. Right? So before I go any further, I want to give all the honor, glory, and praise to the Most High Yahawah and His only begotten Son YAHAWASHI, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus because the letter J in the English alphabet did not exist 2,000 years ago. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, taught me the truth of the Spirit. Single honors to the elect. Peace and bless to the 1/3, and to the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom. I'm going to open up with this precept because this is also prophetic, which is why I'm doing this video. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34 through 36, NLT. Don't imagine that I came to bring peace to the earth. This is red letter, people. I came not to bring peace, but a sword. I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Your enemies will be right in your own household. Now, the portion of this passage that I want to speak about when it says, "I have come to set a man against his father." Now, as you can see right here on the right hand side, this is the younger of the two sons of the father. All right, the younger of the Azaretto sons. What happened was that he took his own father's life, but it was in self-defense, right? But to give you a backstory, pretty much go in really quick. It said the still under investigation potential murder suicide came 6 years after Azaretto's younger brother, Nicholas Azaretto, stood accused of slaughtering another family member, which was his father. All right. This is the house that um, the younger brother was living in with his father and his mother. All right. So pretty much during a heated argument in February 2020 inside the family's Monroe County, Pennsylvania home, then 20-year-old Nicholas Azaretto picked up a shotgun and blasted his father, Frank Azaretto, in the chest, killing him. And this is Nicholas right here. Like I said, this is the family line. All right, his father Frank Azaretto, and Nicholas Azaretto. All right, that was his father. He faced third degree murder and voluntary manslaughter. But they said it was considered a cold crime, and this is what happened. A dramatic court hearing later that month revealed that Frank Azaretto had a history of abusive behavior. The 58-year-old Azaretto patriarch allegedly came home on February 13, 2020. Damn, that was the day before Thanksgiving. Valentine's Day, ain't it? From his movie production job in the Bronx and blew up at his wife over a telephone bill, according to the report in a criminal complaint. All right, as you can see, he angrily paced around the Shroud Township home, threw plants and pictures, and threatened to punch his wife, the report stated. "You're playing games again," he thundered at his wife. Nicholas Azaretto allegedly emerged from his basement bedroom amid the chaos, asking, "What's he screaming about?" All right. "I really don't know," his mother said. She told him. So I'm just reading you exactly what happened so you can understand. Frank Azaretto pushed his son into his basement room, closed the door, and continued his rampage, pushing his wife in the kitchen while breaking items, the criminal complaint states. The defendant then returned from the basement with a shotgun and proceeded to the kitchen area where the victim was still arguing with his wife, the complaint states. The defendant then shot the victim in the upper torso area in the presence of his mother. The young man, let me see, I can see. The young man then unloaded the 12 gauge shotgun and laid it on the kitchen countertop before calling 911, the complaint states. And that is a photo of him from 2017 at Facebook. of him, pretty much practice shooting. So that was his father on the right side. Okay. Now, like I said, it was in self defense, so to say that they say, right. What you see right here is surveillance of Joseph Azaretto, his brother, after he took the life of his wife at the moment. But before I proceed, I want to read Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 verse 28, which is in the Apocrypha, a part of the 1611 King James Version Bible. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So, in other words, like they say, his father had a behavior problem, and I guess this was just the day that his son, his youngest son Nicholas, was fed up and took his father's life in self defense, and he even called the police and told him what happened in the courtroom, which is why they call it manslaughter, you know. But it just goes to show you the spirits, that's inside these individuals. Father has behavior issues. I don't know anything about Nicholas, but you took your own father's life. Like, I don't even know if y'all tried to ever fought before or anything, but that's just the spirit that's inside these individuals. Like, going to his brother Joseph, all right? See if I can pull it up. That was his wife. Very unfortunate. But let me go back. I apologize, y'all. So, boom, boom. I want to go. I want to go back to the picture of him, the oldest son. He's big. What the heck just happened? Salakia. All right. So this is the information about the older brother, or the eldest son, Joseph Azaretto. His older brother, Joseph Azaretto, and Golding. Her name was Oh my God, forgive me. Mary. Was it Mary Kate Golding, if I'm not mistaken? And had moved to Astoria from Pennsylvania about 2 months ago. I think Astoria's in New York. Azaretto, among other disturbing alleged incidents during his short time in Queens, had once physically fought repo men over his car, a nearby worker told the Post. He was mentally disturbed. He knew that since he got here, the worker said Tuesday. Like I said, it's the family, man. But it still goes back to enemies of your own household. Remember that youngest son took his father's life, and then the eldest son took his wife's life, and then took his life in the process. And people, like the grimacing thing of it all. After he took her life, he left the 11th month baby by her body. Then he left, called a friend or a sibling, someone of the family, told him what he did, went to the park and hung himself. That's the gist of everything that happened. But like you said, they say he was fighting with the repo people. He was mentally ill, all this and that. So Golding, his wife, studied at. Let me show her. You're looking woman too pretty. Golding studied at NYU and was working as an assistant set decorator for shows like The Marvelous Miss Maisel and Goosebumps at the time of her death, according to her IMDb page and other online profiles. Azaretta also worked in the film industry. A neighbor who requested anonymity said, okay. Sources previously said the couple got into an argument late Monday before Azaretto stabbed her. And what's crazy is that they said when the officers arrived on the scene, or here it says right here, cops responded shortly after and found Golding dead with the knife still in her back at around 12:30 a.m. Tuesday, the sources said. About 6 hours later, Azaretto's lifeless body was found hanging from a tree in Astoria Park. Now that's tragic. That's tragic. Because think about this child. This child's going to be raised without not only his mother and his father, but not even his grandfather. That's just terrible. But nonetheless, Psalm 68:20, KJV, he that is our God is the God of salvation, and unto God the Lord belong the issues from death. So just like how the Lord deals with a balance, the Lord loves and the Lord does hate. Yes, He does, people. The Lord gives life, and the Lord also delivers and brings forth death. Understand that it's not Satan, it's not the devil. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Because all of us are on borrowed time. Remember that we all are on borrowed time. I'm gonna always use the same analogy. I don't care if you're an atheist, you are agnostic, or you just believe that you're gonna come back as a tree. I always ask the same people these questions. This question: did you have any say so in the day you was born? All right, then there's a higher entity, there's a higher power, a higher consciousness than we are. But nonetheless, though, I'm gonna close out with this precept. This is Ephesians chapter 5, and it's still tragic, man. This is the job. I'm human. That's tragic. That's just terrible, but it's still the working of the Lord. Ephesians 5:15. So be careful how you live. This is NLT, people. So be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise. Make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. Don't act thoughtlessly, but understand what the Lord wants you to do. All right. So with that being said, I truly pray y'all will edify and fed, stay in the spirit, no fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent. Kwame Sha'Allah, Shalom.